Welcome to Think Alive. We're Sharon and Andy, just two people with a dream and a vision of restoring our traditional stone-built farmhouse in southern Spain, transforming it into a beautiful off-grid home and sharing our journey with you.
Welcome back to the Thinker.
Morning everybody.
It's too hot to be doing this out here.
It is. However, this is supposed to be the last of the heat wave days, and tomorrow we could get some rain.
For a week, maybe.
So that's exciting.
Which means I can get on the outside of here if it's dull, depending on how much sun we've got, because we rely on the sun to power the compressor. But anyway, we're cracking on with this. I've got this opening generally opened up. There's quite a lot of bits that don't need to come off yet, but yeah, it's time to get the air hammer out, clean it up. As I say, if it is cooler, I can be out here and start stripping all this wall off. Yeah, of course I've got this one to do yet, and then that needs stoning up. But so far so good. But just before, what I want to do is get this window frame fitted in the loose hole once I've cleaned it all up. The reason for doing that, because it's better to, I think, with stone at least, brick might be different, to build it up once the window's in place. You get a good, neat, proper finish then, rather than trying to build an opening and fit your window into it. Inevitably.
Yes. So before I do that, it needs oiling, because once it's fitted and Andy's sort of pointing round it, it's inevitable that you will get some mortar on the wood, as hard as you try not to. At least if it's oiled, it's easier to clean off.
Yes, because it just sucks into it and stays.
It leaves a strange mark, we've discovered, if it's not been oiled, which you can never get out. So yeah, I'm going to get this oiled. You go and sort out the opening, and we'll reconvene. Yes.
Well, as promised, as forecast, it started, it's here. The sky is super black in places. I take it, but I don't want to get the camera wet because it is raining now. All the air lines are ready set up. The good thing about air, you're not going to get electrocuted if it gets wet. I was just about to start, the heavens opened, and we'll have to wait a bit. In addition, our 4.5 kilowatts of panels, they're only bringing in 51 watts, so there's not enough power to run the compressor. But we'll see if it stops. It's supposed to stop in an hour or so. If it brightens up a bit, I can get on it. So I managed to get quite a bit done yesterday, and the sun did come out, power was restored. I got all that knocked off up there, and it was like mud. It wasn't even crispy like you'd expect mortar to be, just mud come out of it. A lot of those stones up there are totally loose, and but it's off, and I got down to this, which is a right mess. This lintel on the outside is loose and very thin and very rotten. All these stones are loose. Everything here is just loose. There's a bird's nest up there, but when I was doing it, if you can see up there, all the inside of the wall was just coming down. It's still like right, I can get my hand right up there, and still bits are falling down, so I need to do something urgently with it. So what I want to do, I think I'm going to prop it up. I need to take a bit more of this off here and then see if we can put a decent lintel in here. We've got some almond, keeping it traditional, some bigger pieces up the land. So I reckon there's two ways of doing this. You can either put needles or pins, like scaffold tube, right through the wall and prop it up on both sides, or I'm going to try and use strong boys, because I don't want to start knocking at this given that it's so unstable. This is a strong boy, it's called a strong boy, and what it does, it sits on top, the top of the prop sits in there, the bar sits against there, it'll go up there like that and hold the wall up. What we've got to allow for, in fact I'll get it in place first and then I'll explain, or I'll try and explain. Try that one there. another hole actually. Stay. Make sure that's as low down as it will go. That's it. Not going to get another hole out of it. So I'll get it set. Right, so that's now set, solid, that's holding it up. I think what I'm going to do next, I want to put another one in. What I needed to allow for, I should have mentioned, when I come to put the new lintel in, that I've got enough space here to get it in, because quite often if you use these, if they're too close to the wall, you can get them all set up. I've seen it done, and you haven't got enough space to get the lintel in, whichever way. So, I'm now going to get the air hammer out. I'm going to take this lot off here, take this back down, and see if I can get another one on this side over here, which will support our wall. We can remove the lintel and this stone here, which is loose. You can see it moving, it's not doing a lot. So, I'll get the air hammer out. Bird's nest, very old. Right, see if I can get that over. Everyone's they're just coming down. So I'm going to try and get that other strong boy under there now. In fact, I'll just go a little bit further this way, might help. There's better stone here. Wonderful. Just put it away a bit. Right, happy with that. I'm going to take this out, and this is going to come down as well. Heavy one. What's your feet? Right, I just need to take a bit of this off, but I'm happy with that up there. That one's still a bit dodgy, but the way it works, it'll be fine. So I'll just take this bit off and get this lintel out. He's loose now. Alrighty. Oof. Right, we need to find a replacement now. So this should do. Quite a nice specimen. I'm just going to chop this end off and then cut it to the length which I want. We'll have a go. This has only been cut down a couple of years, still smells new. Right, get the other end cut. Lovely. Just get the bark off it now with the axe, and then we're ready to go. Heavy that one is. Just need a couple of modifications to get it in the height I want it in at. More rubbish coming out of the way. It's actually going to be lower than the other one because the inside lintel, if you remember from previous shots, is really low on this end, so that's the end we're working to, I think. Right, so that's where it wants to be. I need to go in a little bit deeper on this side. This side, I've got a big piece of marble which I need to try and chip into. It's on an angle as well, which means it's going to be difficult to build up on the front of it. So I've just tried with the air hammer, it's not touching it. So I'm going to try the slightly bigger one, see if I can just chip a bit out of it without disturbing it. Right, finally, eventually, got an acro under this just to hold that in place. Now we need to start stoning up. There's a lot to knock off again, but to support that lintel, and then we can take it from there. But the first job is to get that lintel fixed in, supported underneath. Right, so the window's actually 500mm wide on the edge. I'm using this edge, I'm going to keep this edge as my stone. It's going to come to here. So fortunately, because we've got this sloping one here, I can build up from here up underneath there to give me opening on this side. So I'm going to just get all these bits knocked off here and cleaned off this side, and then we can start rebuilding it. Right, so I've just hammered a couple of big stones in here to lock that lintel up. I'm just going to clean all this rubbish off now, and then we can get started. So everything's cleaned back best I can. It's all very, very loose, but tomorrow it'll start getting better. It just needs a good vacuuming off now, as we did inside, to get all the loose stuff off. Then we can start rebuilding it. It's going to have to be a very steady bit at a time, and see how it goes as we're going. But yeah, we're ready to start at least putting this bit back together. Still lots of other stuff to do, but this will be a massive bit of progress. Okay, it's all cleaned up, best as I can get it. Next thing I need to do is find some square stones, because I want to build these edges up. Obviously I want a nice square edge. That's another challenge. We've got a big pile behind me here. There should be some in there, so I'll have a hunt about and see what I can find. Right, so I've got 3 here, 1, 2, 3. They're not set yet, obviously, they're just balanced in place, but the fact that they just sit there without any mortar is good, because that means it's going to be strong. Before they're even glued together, they're still sat pretty solid. So I think the next thing to do, get these 3 in first. I'll get a mix on, and I might have a look at one for that side actually to fit in there, and we'll get mixing and get them stuck. This one might go in here with a bit of modification. Just take that bit, try and take that bit off there. I'll have to put it on the floor. It's not playing. Find another one. That one actually wedges in there pretty nicely. What I'll try and do is wedge it up under there, but obviously I'm going to need to pack quite a few in behind there. But I think I'm going to go with that. Looks a bit odd at the minute because I need to do these bits here obviously. But yeah, that's a good start. Something like that will do to get me started. I've got some holes at the back, but once those are in, I can fill those in. The top one, that should tap in nicely. It's all very delicate at the minute, but the more I can get in, the more solid I can get it, the easier and better it's going to become quite quickly. In the meantime, Sharon's going to clear this rubble inside and sift through it to save any stones, because we're going to need lots and lots and lots. Right, I've got this side done. It needs finishing off obviously. We've got one wedged up there under there, it's all wedged in, it should be pretty solid. Now time for the other side. Right, take these out of the way first without not falling. Put him down there. Trying to remember which way it went. They can go there and there. I've vacuumed it all, it's still got lots of muck coming out of it. Give it a good soaking. Wash all the loose stuff off that's left. It's actually going to be super tricky because I've got to put that one in and hold this one and then put the other one behind it. So I'll wet these down now ready. That one goes like that, yeah. And then this one goes in there. Wet it all, it doesn't actually matter. Right then, see if I can do this. Just going to throw it in by hand. Plenty in. Be good when I can get these out of the way actually, because they're a bit awkward to work round. Right, where's he gone? Oh, some on the side as well. There. That's it. Kind of need to make sure I've got him right, and then get this one in behind it. Something like that. Where's my tapper? That's alright, that's pretty good. The other side was a lot more difficult than this because it was a lot fiddlier. Get some behind him as well. Alrighty. Take it that way over there a little bit. Smashing. Just going to stick a little one in here, give it a little bit more substance to bond to. That's good. I just need to get a bit of infill at the back of this. There's a big hole there. And check it from both sides as well to make sure it's pretty straight. Someone's done a cracking job on the floor, makes my life a lot easier moving about in here. Right, let's have a look what we've got. Finding stones. That one will do. Lovely. Dip him in the bucket. There you are. Remembering how I had it. There we go. It's coming together slowly. Oh, another one underneath it. Super. So this is the one I've just put in. I've just put these two in behind it to give it some substance and something to stick through. That one and that one. Obviously this has got to be built out when the window's in. But for now, for all intents and purposes, it's doing what we want it to do. So I'll just use up the rest of this mortar and get these backed up. And then we're ready for the next bit. Get the top bit done hopefully. Right, the last piece going in. We've got a nice wedge shaped one that should wedge in there. Look at that, fab. I'm just gonna get in, give it a bit of a tap, then I'm gonna go around the back and stick something similar in there to wedge it that way as well. Super, we're nearly there. Right, so this is the last piece. I'm going to just stick him in up there, the right way around. Just a wedge in behind that. That'll stop it moving this way. It shouldn't do anyway. Wonderful. Whew, there we go. It's done, this phase. We need to let that go off now, consolidate a bit before we take the props out, and I also would need to get a bit up there. Those two are just temporary until we can take those acros out, but we need to let this set first and it'll take a couple of days, so we're going to call it there.
Time for a nice cold beer.
It is time for an ice cold beer, very much so. I'm absolutely reeking, super hot in the sun. And luckily the wall's in the shade, the lime should be alright. It's all got to be pointed, there's more filling in to do. But yeah, that's it. We're actually super happy with that. I didn't know if I'd get it done for this video, but that
Good
was
job, well done.
Thank you. And now I'm deserving a beer.
You are indeed. So thank you to everybody for watching.
Indeed.
Hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you to all our subscribers, all our patrons, everybody that's bought us a coffee or a nice cold beer. We'll see you on the next one.